Mr. Marandi, Dr. Regan Bogdan just told us that there are other issues of concern, and Iran is not really a reliable partner when it comes to negotiating. And of course, those issues of concern, as you just mentioned, are about Iran's missile development and also the use of proxies. And as he said, quote unquote, terrorist activities in the Middle East. Would you like to respond to that?
When it comes to terrorism and proxies, I'm assuming that your audience knows that the United States has been supporting al-Qaeda in Syria for years. And through its proxies, they've helped al-Qaeda, they've helped Jaish al-Islam and other extremist groups for years now. And this is, you can see this in the WikiLeaks documents. This is an admission of Hillary Clinton, if you look at her emails. And if your audience would like to check the 2012 National Defense document or the Defense Intelligence Agency document, where at that time General Flynn was in charge, and in that document it stated that the extremists in Syria had the upper hand from almost the beginning, and that U.S. allies were supporting them. And that, and then General Flynn on Al Jazeera admitted that the United States took a willful decision to support these extremists. And
but Mr. Marandi, let me interject here. Similar accusation is leveled against Iran in relation to non-state actors like Hezbollah and Iran's support for Bashar al-Assad's regime, which has chosen to essentially be extremely brutal and oppressive of its own people. So I think this kind of blame can be assigned to all sides in this conflict.
Not really. Hezbollah is not a non-state actor. Hezbollah has ministers in the government, they have MPs in parliament, and their bearing of arms is with the consent of the Lebanese government. And the reason why they have arms is because the Israeli regime has invaded Lebanon repeatedly. On the other hand, the Americans can't have their cake and eat it too. How can Syria and the Syrian government be a non-state actor? The Syrian government is the legitimate government of the land. The Indian government recognizes the UN, and the UN seat is given to the Syrian government. The United States has been supporting extremist groups in Syria like al-Qaeda, and they continue to do so in the province of Idlib as we speak. So when the United States speaks about terrorism, they are the first and foremost country that are supporting terrorism. When it comes to being reliable, it is Iran that is abiding by its nuclear commitments, not the United States. It is Iran that is, even over the last year, since the Americans withdrew and the Europeans have been in complete violation, the Iranians have been committing themselves 100% according to the International Atomic Energy Agency. And then when it comes to missile defense, the United States has 50 military bases surrounding Iran. And they expect Iran to give up its military defense capabilities. If Iran did not produce its own indigenous surface-to-air missiles, U.S. aircraft would be roaming the Iranian skies as we speak. So the Americans intrude into Iranian airspace with a $200 million drone. The Iranians shoot it down, and then the Americans are outraged. The remains fall into Iranian waters. The Iranians have the evidence. They take it to the UN Security Council, and the Americans declare a closed-door session at the UN Security Council so that the Iranians cannot present their evidence to the people at the table. Why? Because they know that they had intentionally violated Iranian airspace.